Hello, I'm Josh Topper of Topper Machine, and this is my sawmill that I built entirely in the shop here. And if you caught Saturday's video, you saw me sawing up some pretty nice logs. We had a little mishap where we hit a fence staple. Easy fix. Luckily, it peeled that staple right out of the log there, wrapped it around the tooth. It did nick a few teeth, which I did sharpen, and it's running good again. But I know before we get too far into this, so many of you are going to ask the question, what do you do with all the sawdust? And to answer that question, I'm going to tell you to tune in Saturday and watch the video of this getting rid of the sawdust. It's going to be an interesting video. I think you're going to enjoy it. But as you can see, it's all loaded in this old manure spreader. So check that out on Saturday. So with that, let's move on to the questions. So overall, we had some really great comments. A lot of people were just fascinated by the ability of it to cut so quickly, and what most people don't understand is how accurate this thing is. It's cutting fast, but it is accurate. And the reason I built the circular mill is because I hate the bandsaw mills. The homeowner grade bandsaw mills are just junk. They don't cut good, they're slow. You know, you watch this thing cut, two of us will knock out more wood in an hour than a bandsaw mill will do in an 8-hour day. So that was one of the whole reasons behind building the circular mill, also to go with my steam engine. So we will be powering it with the steam engine eventually. So a lot of great comments and questions on that stuff. We only had 1 or 2 comments about safety. You know, safety's not a concern. Nobody gets near this blade. They've been building these sawmills for over 100 years, probably closer to 180 years. And when there is a sawmill accident on one of these, it's generally because somebody did something really, really stupid. If you know the machine, know what you're getting into, you know, you respect the equipment. It's dangerous, yes, but you respect it and you keep your distance. It's not that dangerous, really. So just got to be mindful of this stuff. I've seen far more accidents, worse accidents in my life on bandsaw mills because people get, you know, they get comfortable around it and they don't think, and because it's got all that fancy guarding. This is big, scary, it's there. So there's no safety issues really. You know, we just pay close attention as far as feed. You know, that's set up so that if I got hooked on a log going by that blade, as soon as if I bump that lever and it starts feeding me into that, well, it can't. I bump that lever and it's going to feed me the opposite direction. So there's another safety feature that I designed into the mill. Now next I want to come over here to the set work because we had a lot of questions and comments about this, how this works. And it's kind of a ratchet assembly. And when you pull it, it advances and that ratchets. But then when you rotate the handle, it reverses that ratchet and just pushes everything back. So a very simple setup. You know, I kind of struggled with how I was going to do the set work, and that was the best I could come up with. Now my lumber scales here, I designed this to compensate for blade kerf. And this just makes things super easy. So I can cut 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, 6/4, and 8/4, which is a 2-inch board, and it adds my blade kerf to it. So if I'm cutting and I want to cut, you know, a bunch of 4/4, cut, and then I get up here a ways and I want to switch to something else, well then I just take a little skim cut to the line and I can start cutting 2-inch, or I can take, you know, from 4/4 to 6/4, I can take a skim cut and then cut 6/4. But the thing with the circular mill, the last board is always a 2-inch board. So we just end the scale at 2-inch. These scales are available in my Shopify store. I have several of them I've sold already and guys love them. So if you're interested, check those out. And we also had a lot of really good comments about the tractor. This is a Super M Farmall. This is actually a early Super M, so it does not have the live hydraulics. But it is a Super. And at some point in its life, somebody went through it and put M&W power pistons in it. I had to have the head redone Actually, I think we replaced the head. I can't remember now. But we had a broken valve in it when I got it. It had a little chip out of the valve itself. So it didn't have full compression on, it was on the exhaust valve. And it was carboned up enough it ran great until we started working it. And that carbon blew out and then it really ran like crap. So had the whole top end redone. Wound up putting a new radiator in it at that time as well. And this thing runs and performs beautifully. Works great on the mill. We're right in the high 50s, low 60s for horsepower. And you know, with this blade that's a 52-inch, 32 tooth insert blade. And yes, I did sharpen them all, figured out the sharpener, and it was cutting absolutely beautifully when we cut the other day. So, but this blade with the less teeth is great. Menominee Saw and Supply helped set me up with this. Peach, the guy that, he's retired now, but he was doing all the hammering. He said, go with fewer teeth for lower horsepower, and I have not regretted that investment one bit. Like I said, 32 teeth, 52-inch head saw here. And there were many, many compliments on the angles that I was shooting at, the many different angles, so you could really see the workings of the mill. So some pretty cool shots there, and I really enjoyed filming this. It was a lot of fun. And those of you that have watched the channel for a few years have seen the mill in action before and may not have noticed this. We built this as a little safety feature and for speed also. So it covers the PTO shaft. There is a big support there in case the shaft does break to catch it. But we got the railing too. We're going to add a second railing here at some point. But because once the building is built, there's going to be an open section over here of shaft to the outer wall where the belt pulley will be outside and the PTO adapter will be outside. So it'll be a long shaft, giving us some more working space in here. But this is one feature that we absolutely love, Carl and I, when we're sawing, because now we don't have to walk all the way around the tractor to come help each other. Like if he's picking big stuff off the outfeed table here, I can just up and over and help him. Not a big deal. So it's been a great feature, a great safety feature as well. So very happy with it. And so we've had a few jokers who just cannot watch an entire video, can't sit through it, can't get all the details, and have to comment anyway. Yes, we are building a building. That's what we are sawing for. This needs to be undercover at some point. It will be, hopefully yet this year. That's the goal. I got the power poles for that. We're sawing lumber for that. In fact, coming up, and it'll be a little bit yet because I do have some machine shop videos after our sawdust video that I'll be putting out, and then we are going to be sawing up this guy. This is another 20-foot log, actually 21 feet. We dropped it last night, Sunday night, and we plan on sawing this either Tuesday night or Wednesday night. So Wednesday when this follow-up video comes out. One way or the other, we're gonna get this sawed up into more 2x8s for our roof trusses, and then we'll start on the 2x6s for the rafter portion. So this is what's actually gonna be our cross boards for the full rafter, so the truss, the base piece, and we've already got 7 of them we sawed 2 years ago that are good and dry. We're going to get more out of this. I'm hoping we're going to get 6 or 7 out of this one, and that'll get us enough to do what we want to do, which is 4-foot truss spacing, 4-foot pole spacing, and then all wood shingles. So the goal is to saw wood shingles. Hopefully I'll bring home the shingle mill right after the Hungry Hollow show the last weekend of June. So I bought that shingle mill after my friend Mike had passed and basically donated it back to the club in his memory, but it's mine to use. So I'll bring it home and we'll saw up a bunch of wood shingles and get ready for shingling the building as well. So that'll be an upcoming video. So stay tuned, a lot of cool stuff coming. I hope you enjoyed the sawing. Check out Saturday's video with the sawdust removal, what we do with it, to answer all of your questions, because there was a lot of questions about that. So stay tuned to that. And until next time, get out in your shop and get it done right the first time.